He has been awarded with Ewald's Prize, which is given once in 3 years. And this is no less than a Nobel Prize in the field of crystallography. So we can imagine the gravity and the depth of his recognition, of his work's recognition in the world, for which he has been given this award. And we are indeed very fortunate that he could be with us. And not just that, he took time, as I told in the beginning also, he took time to go through the articles and painstakingly he wrote the foreword for it. These are the days when even youngsters like me ask for a pre-written template where we can affix our name and signature and send it. But Professor Desiraju, that Professor Desiraju is, he had chosen to write it. And it's my pleasure to have worked with him on a different occasion for a book chapter. And I know the sagacity, the veracity, as well as the thoroughness with which he deals anything that he takes up. Be it hydrogen bond, the book that he had written with Steiner, one of the most popular book, popularly referred worldwide even till today. So be it hydrogen bonds, or be it Śrī Varalakshmi Namosvate that I had the opportunity to listen to him in Chakralingeshwara temple in Varanasi way back in 2019, I would say. Whatever he takes up, he does justice to it by getting into the heart of it. So without much ado, already we are delayed. I invite him to share his remarks on this beautiful day of Muttusvāmi Dīkṣita Jayanti. Stage is yours, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ramanathan. Yes, Indian knowledge system also has to live with Indian Standard Time. So, very happy to be here and to talk in front of this learned audience full of eminent Vidwans and Vidushis, lovers of music, people connected with Indian knowledge systems. Ramanathan has asked me to talk about research in this short presentation. So, without going into great detail, there are 3 points about research that people need to know. I'm not going to explain this, I'll leave it to you to figure them out, because more of my talk will refer to this great gentleman here, in whose name we have assembled. I'll call him MD, because in this part of the country people are known by their initials. So I'm going to call him MD. He's a friend of ours. He's not somebody who's sitting on some big pedestal somewhere. So in the true spirit of MD's music, let us refer to him in a familiar way. But what are the 3 points of research? First point, because I have been in research all my life, in chemistry and crystallography, not in music. If you can do research in one subject, you can do it in all subjects. Research means it is the way how to do research, not the subject. That's why we call it PhD, Doctor of Philosophy. It is not called Doctor of Music or Doctor of Chemistry or Doctor of Physics. Doctor of Philosophy. Why do they call it like that? PhD. So there's a reason why it is called Doctor of Philosophy. So if you can do research in one subject, you can do research in any other subject because you have learnt the way of doing research. Second point. Research is all about asking the right question. It is never about providing the right answer. Because we never know what the right answer is. Today's right answer becomes tomorrow's outdated junk. The right question is very, very important. You must ask the right question. First, you must know how to ask a question. We have come into this situation in our country today where students have been made timid. ஐயோ கேட்கக்கூடாது பெரியவா இப்படி தான் சொன்னா. No. you please question those fellows. Why did they say what they said? So younger people who are getting, and not so young people who want to do research also, they have to start asking questions. So it's about asking the right question. Third, most important, never fall in love with the subject of your research. The day you do that, you are done as a researcher. The moment you start getting emotionally involved with your subject of your research, then you lose everything. You will be roaming somewhere and you will not find the right answers. Next point. 3-4 points I will say, that's all. Lack of a cogent right-wing research base in India. Now I am using right-wing in the very loose sense. I am talking about cultural right-wing, broadly speaking. The asymmetry in Indian political discourse is rooted in a 50-year structural head start by the left wing. Since the mid-20th century, left-leaning scholarship in India has successfully utilized classical Western research methodologies, archival rigor, peer-reviewed historiography, sociological frameworks to build a cohesive academic tradition. We may disagree with them completely, but the way in which they carry out their research, the left wing, is academically impeccable. Romila Thapar was a PhD student of A.L. Basham. That is a parampara. So there is a self-sustaining ecosystem of literature and institutional memory that the left wing has, which the right wing doesn't have. The right wing, we lack rigor, we lack specialized body of work. In cultural politics, we frequently rely on rhetorical assertion. We want Hindu Rashtra, we want this, we want that. What Hindu Rashtra? Do you know what you're talking about when you ask for all this? No systematic deep inquiry is there in the right wing. A primary casualty of this intellectual gap is the lost in translation phenomenon because of the underlying Sanskrit non-translatables. So they say dharma is duty. You can't translate dharma into some English language or something. Atma. They say it's soul. No, it is not soul. We know what it means. But this is a regular problem with people like Rajiv Malhotra has said Sanskrit non-translatables. Brahman, God. No, Brahman is not God. Let us come to music. Raga. Can we translate raga? They'll say mood or something. No, it's not mood. How can it be? I see prominent Vidushis in front of me, they're smiling. Yes, raga is not mood. Not mood at all. Bhava. What is bhava? Can you give me an English word for this? Even tala, I say. It is not time measure. Tala and laya. Huh? What is that balance between these two? See, these words like, there's no word like for religion. We don't have a word for religion. Sanatana Dharma is not religion. Dharma encompasses a cosmic order and ethics, Rita, that religion cannot capture. Without a disciplined academic movement to articulate these distinctions, profound concepts are tossed around and become political slogans. Stripped of any philosophical depth, reduced to modern buzzwords, here and there shouting, agitating, etc. What is IKS? I see Dr. Ganti sitting in front of me. And he is the one who brought me into the IKS family. It refers to a vast multidisciplinary corpus of knowledge originating from the Indian subcontinent. It encompasses traditional wisdom, philosophical frameworks, and empirical sciences documented in Sanskrit, Pali, Prakrit, and other regional languages. Gurumurthy said something about India, Bharat, and all that. I disagree with him completely. India and Bharat are the same. Bharat is what we call ourselves. India is what foreigners call us. Everybody can have two names. We have some pet name. Sometimes somebody is named after their grandfather and grandmother. So they don't want to use the name of the senior person, so they make a pet name, Chinu or something. So people having two different names is nothing strange. And in fact, this is what we have written. Dr. Murthy has somehow bludgeoned me into writing 2 textbooks on IKS for first year undergraduate and second year undergraduate. And it's about a modern way of looking at IKS. To make a youngster, teenager in a metropolitan city, they are interested in pizzas, movies, boyfriends, girlfriends. We want to make people like that pick up a book on IKS and want to start reading it. So I said, he said, only you can write a book like this. So, okay, somehow we started writing. It's nearly getting over. But I want to tell you something. In book 1, it concerns this gentleman here, MD. We have picked 5 Indians in the last 200 years or so, who, in our opinion, exemplify Indian knowledge systems more than anybody else. And we had a short list of 20, we picked 5 in the end. First one was Abdul Kalam. Second one was Sarojini Naidu. Third one was Dharampal. Fourth one was Sumati Morarji. And fifth one is Muttusvāmi Dīkṣita. Now I'll justify why this MD comes in the scope of IKS and why he is a very good research topic. I'm looking at it strictly as a researcher, not something else. Not even as a Rasika or listening to music and all that. Dīkṣita's travels to Kashi integrated Hindustani ragas, northern deities. I think people are going to talk about that. He honors rivers like Ganga, Kaveri. And what I want to do in the rest of the talk is give one case study, and I'm going to give you 2 suggestions for research problems concerning MD. Now the case study that I've chosen is an odd one, and it is a group of songs that are actually not heard much in the concert circuit. These are the kritis on goddess Abhayamba. And I chose these kritis because more than any other group kritis of MD, these exemplify IKS very well. I'll say a little bit about the Navavarna kritis. That is of course very well known, but that is a very well structured form of doing the Śrī Chakra worship through the Navavarnams, and the whole thing is very rigorously and formally laid out. In the Abhayamba kritis, this gentleman MD, he relaxed a little bit. He went here and there. And they exemplify, in my opinion, 10 songs structured across 8 Sanskrit grammatical cases, which is true of many of the other Vibhakti kritis. They bridge Indian identity by honoring the Kaveri river and featuring a rare Manipravala kriti, Sri Raga. A linguistic masterpiece that blends Sanskrit, Tamil and Telugu to highlight India's diverse and yet unified cultural fabric. Now, worthwhile to spend a few minutes on this Manipravala. The origin lies in the Tamil language. And initially this composition technique was limited to Tamil Malayalam Manipravala. It subsequently moved to Malayalam Sanskritam and Tamil Sanskritam. All these are binary Manipravalams. MD took it to a higher level of complexity by making a ternary Manipravalam. 3. Complexity is a subject which is very dear to my heart because it is close to my research in structural chemistry, and this prize and all which Ramanathan had mentioned, it has come out because of my studies on complex systems. Complex systems are different from simple systems. I'll give you an example of a complex system. Now, I'm chatting with somebody. We're talking about some light things. Then, suddenly, let us say, one of the prominent musicians here comes and joins our group. Now, we may be talking some silly things. Somebody prominent comes. Now, the conversation between me and my friend will change because of the presence of the third person, who is, we feel, little more important than us. We will change our behavior to each other also. Both of us may become a little bit quiet. So, a two-system binary becomes three-system complexity. Like today, important binary is USA, China. In the middle, India comes, small fellow. But both the behavior of US and China change because of India. That is a complex system. Dīkṣita's kritis are full of this. And I'll give some examples. This Manipravalam 3 language is a typical example. It's quite difficult. And also let me say a political statement I'll make in the state of Tamil Nadu. There is a shrill cry for linguistic divisions and unnecessary conflict in the music world because of a contrived battle between Sanskritam and Telugu and Tamil on the other hand. All this happened 100 years ago, we know. You sing only songs in some language, you only sing songs in some other language. Here was a composer who lived 200 years ago who saw no difference between these languages at all. He put all three of them in one song. I really request, so many of you famous performing musicians are here. Please perform this Sri Ragam, Manipravalam of his, as a Mangalam Kriti, at least in the Dīkṣita year. Please do that because people should realize that, a gentleman mentioned my Mysore origins. My surname is Andhra and yet my wife is very much from Chennai. So, it's very difficult for people like me and I grew up in Mumbai. So, okay, forget it. And I spent much of my career in Hyderabad. So, people ask me what is your... It's not possible. So, his technical mastery transcends emotion, this MD. There is an ethereal rasa and an Advaitic state of union. This was referred to a little bit in the morning. The unique brilliance distinguishes his work. You'd go into a indissolvable thing. The Sri Vidya practice, all of us know, with reference to this group, Bhairavi, Avidya Karya Kalanam Tyajare. Sahana Sachidananda Rupayam Swaswarupayam. Kedara Gaula, Aparoksha Jane. It is straight. Connections to the Lalita Sahasranamam are evident in Chamaram, Parashakti, Yadugala Kamboji, Aswaruda, Sakala Mantra Tantra Rupa, Kalyani, Raktavarna, Kedaram Aprameya, Todi, Sakala Nishkala Swarupa, Kedara Gaula, Malini, Mantramaladi, Tantrokyata. That Kedaram song is very unusual. I'll mention that specially. Ambikayaha, Bhayambikayaha. It's probably very difficult to sing, because it's not really a song. It is just a whole tantric stotram. And actually you can take that Pallavi, Anupallavi, Charanam and just sing or even recite the whole thing. Look at some of these. Bimba, Pratibimba, Rupinya, Bindu, Mandala, Nivasini, Swarupini, Mooladhara, Manipura, Kadyabja, Bhedana, Spurat, Kundalini. It just goes on and on like that. You don't sing it like ordinary Sangatis. And it's probably quite difficult to perform. It's probably impossible to do Neraval Swaram and all for that song. So I've written in the foreword, MD wrote some songs for his pupils. Those Tanjore Kritis maybe to tell the grammar of some of those ragas. Then he wrote some as a worship thing. And I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, he wrote some of these songs only for himself. He did not write, especially this Kedaram Abhayamba Kriti, I think he only wrote it for himself. If somebody is able to get something out of it, then so much the better for them. Prasa. Prasa is again very well known in this audience, but I'll tell in the Kalyani. Second syllable prasa. Bhukti pala prada daksham ridani. Bhakti prada nipuna tara bhavani. Shakti sampradayaka sharvani. Bhukti mukti vitarana rudrani. So, that second syllable prasa comes natural to him. Comes all over the place. I don't have to mention it specially. But this again is something from Tamil poetry. Kalidasa does not use second syllable prasa. And so the question is, it's very beautiful, all of us enjoy it. I think you enjoy even the singers when they sing this second syllable prasa, they groove on that. It's a very subtle way of expressing, and this is where the systems come in. Dīkṣita, when you say Indian knowledge means this Chaturdasha Vidyasthanas. He uses Jyotish, he uses Upanishad, he uses yoga. Many of these Chaturdasha Vidyasthanas he uses in a single composition. So the knowledge part is there. The systems is how he layers it. The essence of these Abhayamba Kritis on the listener is subtle, it cannot be generalized. The insights gained from experiencing them as well as the emotions felt. You can just listen. Somebody who doesn't know music can just listen. Professor Ganti said we can just enjoy Vatapi Ganapatyam. Somebody who knows a little bit Sri Vidya, he will enjoy a little bit more. Somebody who knows ragas, and the Yadugala Gambojile Varad, that Abhayamba, Gamapadadi, Nutapadaya. Gamapada I have not heard before in Yadugala Gamboji. You experts, please tell me. Gamapadadi, Nutapadaya. The Gamapada I don't see in Divagara Dhanujam. Maybe experts here can tell me. In Enamo he does all sorts of funny tricks he plays in these songs. The layering of these distinct systems into a complex whole is the essence of Dīkṣitar composition. Bhava Raga Tala Vishwasini, he says in the Kalyani Kriti in Abhayamba. But this goes beyond Bhava Raga Tala. If you get into some state, depending on your awareness, knowledge, etc., just like Sanatana Dharma. At the highest level of Sanatana Dharma, you will be with Brahman, none of us is there, so we come down to Ishvara and then lower and lower we go. But that doesn't matter, it's part of our IKS. To each his own way of seeing something bigger and better. Now, layering of these distinct systems, even I feel Raga and Tala, I'm just asking questions. In the beginning I said ask questions. I don't think the choice of Tala in MD compositions is innocent at all. When he used what Tala? His natural thing in Sri Vidya was Rupaka Tala. I think that was his best. He always felt great, I think, composing in Rupaka Tala, especially songs like Siddhi Vinayakam and all that. So he is a natural because there's so many references to the number 3 in the Sri Vidya, Lalita Sahasranamam and all that. So 3 is sort of his natural. I think he used Aditalam when he didn't want the mind of the listener to get worried about too many other things. His choice of Aditalam. This morning, sir, you and madam, you played the Gaule in Mishra Chapu. I was taught this in Tishra Triputa. So, and talking about Tishra Triputa, a song that I particularly enjoy is the Bhairavi Abhayamba Kriti. And there I distinctly feel, I can be completely wrong, it's my personal opinion. But I feel it is the Tishra Triputa Tala that is driving the Bhairavi Raga in that case. It's not the other way around. There are many, many small places in that Kriti where you feel that he's playing some chakkar in your brain, depending on your level of understanding and awareness. Finally, I'll take 2 research problems. That was the case study. Don't forget about singing or playing that Manipravalam in the Mangalam, at least with the Dīkṣitar year. Because we've had too much of this linguistic thing and it's not good at all. Alli ಏನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು. all these funny things. I'll go tomorrow to Bangalore, I will hear all that junk. So it's not good. Madam, you have written a chapter on the Navagraha Kritis. And I think it was Dr. Soumya and Yasir. Now I'm going to raise a provocative question. People say, Periyava, Rahu Ketu were written by somebody else. I tried to find out a little bit from various musicians. They said, no, those 7 are very nice songs. Idenamo engeyo irukku in the Rahu, in the Ketu. No, he couldn't have written all this. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, we are dealing with a very, very, very clever person here. He is not ordinary type of intelligent. You mean to say he didn't know that there are 9 planets? When did this name Navagraha Kriti suddenly become Vara Kriti? Then they're not, those Rahu and Ketu are not even planets, they are nodal points. They are not real planets in that sense. They come in Jyotish. There are 4 different theories on exaltation and debilitation of Rahu and Ketu. One says both Rahu and Ketu are exalted in Taurus and debilitated in Scorpio. One says Rahu is exalted in Taurus and Ketu is exalted in Scorpio. Then the third theory says that Rahu and Ketu are never debilitated. Nobody, even the Jyotish people, do not agree about what this Rahu and Ketu are all about. Then there is this crazy story, I think it's crazy, that one of his pupils, I think Thambi Appan or something, had a stomachache. And so then he looked at his horoscope and said, Guru is afflicted, I will write. So some pupil, we all have students, and they had a stomachache. So he had a stomachache, so suddenly this magnificent edifice in Atana shows up for somebody's stomachache. And then suddenly MD says, oh, nice. Oh, it comes in Tishra Tripura Talam. Very nice. Oh, it is the 5th Talam. Oh, then I can go back to Dhruva Talam and start writing from Surya Murti. Please let us not insult this gentleman and say that all these things started because of Thambi Appan's stomachache. Now, I will not listen to that story. Now, you take these Rahu Ketu themselves. Both of them are Pratimadhan Ragams. The other 7 are not. And the thing about these things is they are very small. And the chandas of both these songs is the same. The meter. I'll illustrate. Smaramyakam sadarahum. You can sing the whole song. You can sing the Rahu song in Chamaram and you can sing the Ketu song in Ramapriya. Without too much distortion. He wanted these to be different. Because he wanted to indicate that these 2 planets are different. So I'm asking a question. Nobody told me this, but I feel this is something that he made them different on purpose to show that Rahu and Ketu are different from the other 7. In fact, these kritis themselves, I've heard that this afternoon, one of the students of Anantakrishna Iyer from Calcutta is coming and talking to us about Drupad, is it? What was it? Kanix. I often used to feel, ladies and gentlemen, in these Navagraha kritis that he always mentioned the Rashi ownership, except in the Chandram Bhajamanasa. Then about 10 years ago, I believe from the Anantakrishna Iyer school, there is a fifth line in the Madhyama Kalam. Kamaniya varakatakarajadhipam. I believe that line is there. Please note, Chandramahadasha is 10 years. And that Mathyadalam is 10 beats. இப்படி எல்லாம் பண்ணுவார். He will do a lot of monkey tricks. He will allow you to figure it out for yourself. Last. You sang that, played that song in the morning, first song. Last. Gaula, Gauda, Gaura. This is my second research problem. There is a very rare rule of Sanskrit pronunciation in the Paniniya Siksha verse 5. La, in fact, is recognized as an oddity named Dushprishtha, difficult to touch. Rigveda's very first verse, very first line. Agnimile purohitam yajñasya devam vrijam. Agnimule is written. La, adu varum. That is the original Rigveda, pre-classical Sanskrit. And the La varum. La is formed when Da occurs between two long vowels in the old grammar. This seems to be something peculiar to Rigveda, and the later Sanskrit, classical Sanskrit, dropped it. Yajurvedis drop the letter and keep the original. Now, let's apply this rule to another well-known kriti in the same raga that you played this morning. Nagaraja Sutardhanga Gaulanga. Aduvarum. Two words, two vowels flanking both long. It should be both. Is it Gauda? Either MD was a Rigvedi himself. I don't know if anybody here knows whether he was Rigvedi or Yajurvedi. Or what was his Veda. Was he a Rigvedi himself? And then he used that old form of that La. The reference to Shiva as Gaudanga in this tricky. Gauda is clearly Bengal. There is no two ways about it. Gauda is in the territory of Uttaramnaya, Kali Krama Shaivism of Kashmir. The same composition refers to Srinagara. Bhogadi Prada Srinagara Sthita. Gauda and Anga are also two deshas in their own right next to each other. Both in Uttaramnaya. Is Shiva being described as being these two deshas? In which case we should sing it as Nagarajatdanga Gaudanga. Shiva Purana states that the Rudrakshas grown in Gauda become Shiva's favorite. Rudrakshas are Shiva himself. Gauda may be taken as an Anga of Shiva. Features right after Ardhanga. Is Gauda in fact being referred to as Kali or Shakti herself? Shiva is her spouse. Now, Shiva is being referred to as the Lord of both of these places. Is that way? Let us take Gaura. This means fair-skinned. Does this refer to Shiva himself, the fair-skinned Gauranga? So, Nagaraja Sutardanga means Shiva is the better half of the daughter of a heap of stones. In other words, Himavan. The latter means Shiva is a fair-skinned god, or more accurately, Shiva is a benign person married, living peacefully with Parvati. So the two names are disconnected, they are not connected. This Gaura also, the song you played in the morning, sirs. When I was taught it, Varna Karshana Vigna Rajo Padam Bujo, Gaura Varna Vasanataro is what my master taught me. I first sang it as Gaula Varna. So he said, no, please sing it as Gaula. I don't know. I don't know which is the right one. Ma'am, you have sung that Nilotbalamba Kriti in Gaule. Kula Kaula Marga Yoginya. There it is. He is just hiding the ragam name in using the word Kaula. That doesn't come here. So, I would say that this is a research problem. You just take that single line. Nagaraja Manibhushanālankrita Nagaraja Sutardhanga Gauranga. What is it? Did he mean all three simultaneously? Or did he mean some fourth thing which is above all of us even now? See, that is the mystery of this gentleman. He is not just any ordinary composer. And it's very easy and facile to say, oh, it's very difficult. It is some Namavali, something Vatapi Ganepatim. Oh no, we don't know anything much about this. But I feel as a research topic, as an IKS topic, as a thing where we have to get a research methodology involved, this gentleman, I tell you, if I was 50 years younger than what I am right now, I would straight away start trying to do some research into this fellow. So, through this intricate system, I have taken this Jabayamba thing. You can do it for any of his compositions, Ocean. But once again, I come back to the thing, ask the questions. Go on asking crazy questions for which nobody knows the answer. And people should start laughing at you, saying, why are you so crazy to ask? Gurumurthy said no today. You need some crazy people. This guy was crazy himself. Please, let's recognize that. He was crazy in a way which is very nice. Crazy always doesn't mean bad. So it's for us to try to figure out where the research is, where the research problem is. And I hope that the talks that will continue today will give us further glimpses into this very great person whose memory we have gathered together to commemorate. And I wish the rest of the function all success. Romba thanks.
Thank you, sir. I request Dr. Ramanathan, sir, to kindly felicitate Professor Desiraju, sir.
Thank you very much for coming and speaking to us.
Thank you very much, sir.
I just take 30 seconds. The stress that Professor Desiraju gave on Manipravala. The evening concert, one of the singers is here, Venkateshwaran Kuppuswamy. He just wanted to convey that he is taking up this piece as a concluding piece for his performance.
Sir, your deeply insightful and thought-provoking address directing us to a right way of inquiry and research shall always remain inspiring for us researchers.